Guess what? Red Apple Group Chairman and CEO John Catsimatidis joins us now to talk about this. John, let's begin with that. What do you make of the state of our economy right now?
I think we're in deep trouble. I think we're going in the wrong direction. Governor Youngkin is correct. You know, the commander-in-chief, the president of the United States, is responsible for global security. What's going on right now is we have a lot of troubles in Europe. And if you look at the Houthis in the Red Sea and the Suez Canal, the Red Sea and the Suez Canal are closed. The insurance companies are not going to insure the ships that are going through there. It's creating a problem in gasoline. Gasoline is high. It's going to stay high. It's creating a problem in food. Food is high and it's going to stay high. That causes a temporary inflation situation that has hit interest rates. With a 7.5% 30-year mortgage, nobody's going to buy any houses. Nobody's going to build any houses. And high interest rates, well, I know the Fed is meeting today and tomorrow. High interest rates are going to create a problem for our banks. So the real estate industry gets devastated. It's going to create a problem for our banks. And guess what? Actually, this whole thing can be taken care of in 3 days. You know, all we have to do is send the Air Force in, the Navy in, take care of the Houthis in the Red Sea, take care of the Suez Canal, and guess what? We're going to be okay. The other problem that the commander-in-chief has created is he shut down Alaska again. A lot of places in Alaska. You know, President Trump has said, drill, baby, drill. Well, if you bring down the price of gasoline, down crude oil, down to $50, $55 again, if we drill, baby, drill, guess what? Inflation goes away. And guess what? Interest rates go back down to normal. And then I'm going to disagree with some of our other people about the budget. The budget, if they have confidence in the commander-in-chief, guess what? You can go to $40 trillion. It's not going to mean anything if you go back down to 2 or 3% interest rates. So I am concerned. I am more concerned. Confidence in Washington. Confidence to create a situation where we're running the world instead of having Russia and the OPEC nations running us.
You know, John, let me, and I hear your points, and I want to move to this one because you have personal interest in this. I'm talking about the rampant crime. Actor Chaz Palminteri was sounding off about crime in New York City. Listen to this, and I'll get your comment.
I walk the streets of New York, and I see the way crime is, as far as like people asking other people for money. Talk about the quality of life. It's not only just people go, well, crime is down, murder's down, but it's the quality of life, walking down the street and having people harass you constantly. I don't like that. I think it's wrong. My wife goes there with my children. She feels she won't take the subway. That's for sure. Won't take the subway. And I know a lot of people who will not take the subway.
All right, John, look, you're a New York City guy. Is there any way to turn things around? Who's to blame for this?
Absolutely. Who's to blame for this? You have Albany to blame for this. I think Governor Hochul tried to make a difference, and she's made some slight differences. The Speaker is to blame. The Senate in Albany is to blame. And you know what it comes down to? What Chaz says is 100% correct. You can't walk around tonight. You can't walk around at night in New York. You can't allow your wife and your kids to take subways, and it's changed. And with congestion pricing coming June 30th, I've said to all the politicians, we have one nail in the coffin for Manhattan. Do you want a second nail in the coffin? Wait till the place turns around. And before you implement congestion pricing. And the other important thing I said to all the politicians in Albany, that you got 8.5 million New Yorkers, New York City citizens, and 3,300 criminals, repeat criminals. Who do you want to serve? The 3,300 criminals or the 8.5 million New Yorkers? Enough is enough, guys.
Right. Yep, we hear you. John Catsimatidis, always great to talk to you, John. You always have such great insights, especially on New York City as well. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Ashley,
it.
and let's make a difference again, get New York back and get our country back.
Yeah, you go. We'll leave it there. Well said.